Shake-up at the White House. McMaster out as National Security Advisor. John Bolton is in. OK, that's the news. Now here's the reaction. Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders criticizing the move. Here's his tweet. John Bolton was part of the effort to mislead the U.S. into the disastrous Iraq war and has supported military action against North Korea and Iran. He was too extreme to be confirmed as an ambassador in 2005 and is absolutely the wrong person to be National Security Advisor now. Well, look who's here. Former ambassador to the United Nations, John Bolton, and a frequent guest on the program. Congratulations on getting the job, John.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Okay, right. Let's get right at it, shall we?
Don't I get to talk about Bernie Sanders?
Oh, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, please. Go.
Every sentence that you just read is wrong. Other than that, you know.
Well, that was a very diplomatic response, John. I got to tell you that, Mr. Ambassador. Okay.
Succinct.
You are a hardliner, if I can put it like that. So, first of all, let's discuss the Iran nuke deal. Do you want to tear it up?
Well, let me be clear. You know, I'm in kind of a hybrid status now, sort of on the way from not being a private citizen to being an advisor to the president. So I don't really want to get into what I would say to the president because I think that should be confidential. I mean, I think my views on the Iran deal have been laid out in what some would say are in countless op-eds and speeches and appearances. I think my view is the same as the president's, which he's described as the worst deal in American diplomatic history. The issue for any deal like this is, are you really solving the problem, or are you just simply making people feel good while a country like Iran violates its commitments, which I think is going on, as North Korea did with the agreed framework, as the Russians do on their arms control agreements.
I wonder if you can comment on this. Now, I understand your position, John, but let me throw this at you. North Korea has released a statement, and in it, it says it's time for a dramatic reconciliation with South Korea. That sounds like a very dovish overture to the South. Are you buying it?
Well, you know, North Korea has a playbook of phrases that they use depending on what their propaganda strategy is. That's in the chapter on dovish phrases. The next chapter contains phrases like unleash a sea of fire across the Korean peninsula. I think that their history over decades is that they, like Iran, like others, use negotiations to buy time to conceal their nuclear weapons and ballistic missile activity. So the meeting with President Trump, when it comes, I think will be a real opportunity to say, to see whether that's the same policy they're pursuing as they have so many times in the past. They've repeatedly committed to give up nuclear weapons, and they've repeatedly lied about it.
The president's position, foreign policy position, is to take a strong stand right up front and pretty much stick with it to convince the other guys that you are serious about getting something done. He's done that with Iran. He's done that, well, I think, with China to some degree, and he's certainly done it with North Korea. You fit right into that, don't you?
Well, I think that that in America, plain speaking is still a virtue, and I think that it helps to cut through the fog in some cases and find out whether there's something to talk about or not. And when you put it out on the table, I've often found with countries that we tend to see as our adversaries or having different interests, Russia, China, that you can get to the ground truth, whether you're going to reach agreement or not, much more quickly than sometimes in the more convoluted conversations with allies. So I think you use the technique you think is most appropriate to achieving American interest, which is what the bottom line of foreign policy should be.
Well, we're glad to have you on the show before you totally clam up on us. And it was it's wonderful, John. You've been a great freewheeling commentator, and we really appreciate you being with us this morning. And congratulations, Mr. Ambassador.
Well, thank you. I do appreciate it on, I think, is my valedictory appearance.
That's true.
but at some point when I get to be an official, if they allow me, I'd be pleased to join the company again.
You're on. John Bolton, thank you very much.